Thanks guys for tuning in to Bowman's technical tuning segment. Today I want to talk to you about top cam and bottom cam lean and how it affects your tuning. Obviously, the way the string tracks into the cam is going to have a great effect on how the arrow propels off the string. So each shooter is different individually. So just because the cam sets perfectly straight and tunes really well there for one person doesn't mean that for the next person that's the way you want to set it up. So first things first, let's talk about top cam lean. Now you have a yoke or a harness that attaches to the outside of the limb on the axle, and that creates the load balance for the cam system. Now this particular drawing here shows that the cam is leaning to the left, and what I mean by that is the top of the cam leans to the left. Obviously this one's straight, this one's leaning to the right. So here's how we fix this. You simply add twist to the right side of the yoke or take a few twists out of the left side. And you have to experiment a little bit to see exactly how far you need to go in order to get this particular setting. Now the same holds true for the right leaning cam, it's just vice versa. You add twist to this side, take twist out of that side to balance the load. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about bottom cam lean. Now fixing bottom cam lean can be quite a bit more difficult than fixing top cam lean. Number one, there's a lot of bows that don't have spacers between their cam and the limbs in order to actually even change the balance of the load that's on the limb due to the way the cables pull on the cam. So some bows do have spacers in between the limb and the cam, so you can move the cam from side to side and actually balance the load in a different way to equal it out to where the cam sets straighter. For instance, this particular cam is leaning to the left of the vertical line of the string. This one's straight and this one leans to the right. Bottom leans right, bottom leans left, obviously straight. So in order to fix this one here, what we need to do is we need to take the whole cam to the right on this particular axle. So if you had spacers on this side of the axle and spacers on this side of the axle, you would find out the distance and how thick those spacers are on this side versus this side. Equal the two spacer widths together, and then determine from there how many thousandths to change from one side to the other. So a quick way to check your cam lean, top or bottom, take a straight edge. I'm using a ruler here, a metal ruler. I'm going to set it up against the side of the cam. Now this particular bow is my wife's bow. The cam actually leans a little bit to the right on the bottom and a little bit to the right on the top. But for her that's perfect because the bow will bare shaft tune, shoots an arrow super straight, groups really good. This is where we determined that the tune was the best. But to show you exactly what I'm talking about, take this straight edge, lay it along the edge of the cam, and as you can see when I lay it up against the cam, that the ruler actually hits the string. So this cam, bottom of this cam is actually leaning this direction. Okay, so a little further explanation on the spacer width. Okay, for instance, I hold in my hand three small spacers. This spacer is 110 thousandths, this spacer is 60 thousandths, and this spacer is only 20 thousandths. So one of the things I do when I begin this process of straightening or making a cam lean, whichever direction I need it to go to help my tuning, the first thing I do is I put the bow on the press, take the cam off, and measure how thick all of my spacers are together, their total width. Stay tuned to Bowman for more tuning segments on how you can apply this cam lean to your overall tune.